Good morning, everybody. Hopefully you're having a better day than the market is. Got a lot of stuff to cover. Hopefully we'll get done a little bit quicker here than normal and get you on your way to deal with your clients. Some quick things about the 5Q tape breakdown. In this week's 5Q tape breakdown, we're listening to an FIA presentation during the mountain chart. Do you think the clients are following? And during the mountain chart or tables, how important is it that you're asking the clients to tell you what's going on with the table, identifying the numbers and what's going on with the charts, and identifying what's going on with the charts? Why is that so important? You deal with tables and mountain charts all day long. How often do they deal with tables and mountain charts? Virtually never. So they have to do the talking on those tables. So you have to say, so what did the market do in 2005? They need to look and trace over and tell you what happened in 2005. They have to identify these things, because if you start throwing numbers at them, they're just going to shut down. So that's what the 5Q tape breakdown is about. A couple of things here. Thanks, Mark, for this great catch on articles. Retirement advisor, bad news, good news guidance. Roll call reports that the Teamsters' largest fund is headed toward insolvency. And the Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation fund that serves as backup is about 4 years from depletion. So any of you guys that work with unions, any of you guys that work with people with pensions, guess what you should be talking to them about right now? And today, with today, is this going to get any better based on today? No. So if you got people with pensions, you should be talking about pension maximization and those types of things with them, because they could be sitting in a world of hurt going forward. So here's why the coronavirus may clobber your retirement plans. And as we're seeing, a good starting point to consider for those entering the retirement is 50-50. So this is from David Blanchett, head of retirement research for Morningstar Investment Management. What is he saying? What is he saying here where people should go into retirement at what and what? What percentages? How much in guaranteed, how much in growth? Isn't that interesting? What have we been saying for years? So now we've got Morningstar's retirement head of research telling the same exact thing. Now we can do him one better. What do we want to be? 50-50 what? 50 stocks and 50 what? Yeah, FIAs. Based on what all the research that has been done, FIAs are going to be far better than stocks. So this is a great article to have on hand if people are wondering why you're recommending what you're recommending. Make sense? Here's the real reason Warren Buffett is sitting on a record $128 billion in cash, according to one strategist. Okay, Berkshire's cash holdings has gone up and up and up and up and up and up. And why? Well, this one look at Shiller's CAPE, price-earnings ratio, which is currently around 30 times, to project 10-year total returns using a single history as a guide. As you can see, a lot of it gets spilled during the years of valuations like the one we're seeing right now. So these dots are 10-year forward returns. So this is where we are with the CAPE. So what is it telling us with CAPE? What should we expect for the next 10 years? Okay, what's telling us for the next 10 years? What kind of returns should we expect for the next 10 years on average? Between 5 and 0. 5 and 0. Then when you add in the Buffett indicator versus the 10-year forward returns, Buffett indicator versus the 4-year 10-year forward returns, when that ratio is low, we should expect what for 10-year returns? High. So you see, when it's low, we're getting high, but when it's high, we're getting what? Low. So what should we be promising clients as the stock market with the stock market returns over the next 10 years? Now, is that a guarantee? No. But dudes, when it's low, what are 10-year returns? When it's high, what are 10-year returns? And where are we right now? Should anybody be promising clients decent returns over the next 10 years? No. So let me ask you a question. Why is an FIA a great place to be during stagnant years? These rose-colored things, those are the stagnant years. Why is an FIA a great place to be during these stagnant years? David's got it. See if anybody else gets it. Can your FIAs do really well in a stagnant decade? It's not no losses. I mean, no losses is part of it, but why? What's so great about when you look at these rose-colored times? Why our FIAs do great? The resets, great. Yeah, everybody's getting it now. The resets. So when the market goes down, you don't lose anything. But when it goes back up, you capture the gains. When the market goes down, you don't lose anything. When it goes up, you capture the gains. When the market goes down, you don't lose anything. When it goes up, you capture the gains. When the market goes down, you don't lose anything. You capture the gains. When the market goes down, you don't lose anything. Capture the gains. When the market goes down, you don't lose anything. You capture the gains. This is a great time because when they say the markets are going to be stagnant over the next 10 years, does that mean it's going to be a flat 2%, a flat 5%? No, what's it mean? It's going to have years that are what and years that are what? Up and down a lot. That's right. So there's going to be years that's up 10, then there's going to be years that's down 2, then up 5, and then down at a 1% rate of return. Those are good things for what? FIAs. So how smart are you as advisors who've been following the 50-50? How do you feel right now? And how do your clients feel? But should we be sitting on our laurels? Would now be a good time to get in front of those clients, review with them, and be proactive on this and tell them what a great job that you've done for them. So make sure you're in front of your clients. So main topic today is habits of successful people. Habits of successful people. So Inc. 500 magazine went to all the CEOs of all sorts of different companies and asked them what they did, what they attributed their success to. So first of all, let's talk about what they did not say. So don't do these things. These are habits of unsuccessful people. We're going to talk about that briefly before we talk about habits of successful people. So unsuccessful people fear change. They give up easily. They act before they think. They think they know it all. They try to bring down others to their level. Stop learning. Talk more than they listen. Hoard information data instead of sharing it. They waste their time. They criticize instead of trying to bring others up to their level. They get distracted easily, wasting their time. They secretly hope others fail instead of trying to bring other people up and bringing people up. They're going to try to bring people down to their levels. They blame others instead of taking responsibility. They think and say and do negative things. They hold grudges. They have a sense of entitlement. I'm owed this. They're always angry at others. They don't know what they want to be when they grow up. They take the easy way out. They don't set goals, and we don't like goals. We like systems. But these are things unsuccessful people do. So what do successful people do? What do these CEOs do? Well, instead, they do some basic things. One thing they do is they start their day the day before. They start their day the day before. So before they go to bed, they have a ritual. So these are some things that they do. One is they lay out, several of them mentioned they lay out their workout clothes the night before. Why do they do that? Why are they laying out their workout clothes the night before? Ron's got it. David's got it. It's not to save time. It's what? If they lay it out, if they lay them out, they're more likely to work out. And why do successful people work out? And guys, do you have to go bust your butt and run a marathon? Do you have to lift weights until your blood vessel blows? Yeah, walking is fun. I mean, something as simple as walking, activity, anything. You don't need to go crazy. You don't have to cause yourself pain and suffering. You just need to be what? Start your day with some sort of exercise. It's good for your brain. It's good for your body. It's good for your energy level. Also, the night before, this blew me away. This blew me away, but their logic made sense. Think about your problems before you go to bed. Now, they don't say stew on your problems. They say think about your problems. Now, why would thinking about your problems before you go to bed be a good thing? Now, all the stuff that I've done in the last year with you guys, talking about ultra learning, memorization, all that information, that made me understand why this makes sense. Because what they found is the more you try to fight for an idea, what happens? Does the idea get closer or further away? If you're thinking really hard trying to find that idea, does it get closer or does it go away? Goes away. It gets further away. When you're trying to find something, you need to concentrate on the problem. You need to look at all the problems that are involved with it, all the things, and then you need to let your brain relax, and that's when the creativity occurs. So if you think about your problems and then you just let them go to sleep, you'll be amazed the next day, your brain's worked through all night long working through those things, the kind of ideas you'll have the next day. Start your day right. So when you start your day right, what they say is they start and they write down the things that they want to do the next day. So they're going to start each day the same exact way. First of all, guess how many of them said that they meditate? A lot of them or virtually none of them? Yeah, almost all of them mentioned meditation. And then write down your 3 things to do. Guess how many of these are the CEOs of companies, and they still wrote down their 1, 2, 3 top things to do that day. Because you got to be proactive instead of reactive. If you just show up at work and let the day move you around, what do you get done? Nothing. At the end of the day, if you write down your 3 things to do today, what can you say at the end of every day? You got something done. But if you just show up and walk through the day, how many days? I mean, I've done it. I've showed up at work and just let the day roll over me. And at the end of the day, how satisfied? I mean, how much do you get done, and how satisfied do you feel when you just let the day roll over you? You can't do that. You got to go and be proactive, because you just feel lousy at the end of the day because you get nothing done. Rethink now. So that's what you do at the beginning of the day. Now, another thing that they do is they think differently. They change their thinking. So first of all, when disaster strikes, they don't panic. They take a breath. When things don't go perfectly, they take a breath. Then they think, how can I fix this? How can I make sure this never happens again? So let's see, they take a breath, and then they think, well, I got to fix this right now. So you got to deal with it right now. But then you also want to do what? Minimize the chance of this ever happening again. So guess what a lot of money managers are doing right now with this 3rd bullet? They're thinking, maybe I shouldn't have relied on my money manager. Maybe I shouldn't have relied on that algorithm, because when the market triggers when the market triggers and they shut down trading, does your algorithm really help you? No. So how can you make sure these things don't happen again? But first, take a breath, deal with the problem as it is right now, and then after the fact, think, I don't want that to happen again. What can I do differently? Another thing is schedule 3 hours a week to turn off everything. Turn off your work, turn off your phone, turn off your email, and guess what they want you to do during those 3 hours a week? Kind of goes back to what we talked about, what you should do before you go to bed. Think, Dale, right, think. Let's not recap, think. Just let your mind go and think, how can I grow my business? How could I be a better advisor for my clients? What would be a better way to market? Let your mind go and think. Because unfortunately, how many of you as kids laid in your backyard and looked at the clouds for an hour, 2 hours at a shot? Am I the only weirdo that did that? How many of you did that? Just would lay in the backyard and just look at the clouds for an hour or 2? Yeah, a lot of you are saying that, or bugs in the grass or whatever. Yeah. Now, how many kids today do that? When people are waiting in line, what are they doing? When you see 100 people waiting in line, what are they all doing? So they're on phones. So people now, how much thinking do people do now? Or do they constantly have their brain engaged in some sort of activity, whether it's productive or not productive? It's just in some sort of engagement. Even if it's productive, Even if you're on your phone and you're convincing yourself you're being productive, is that the same as relaxing and not being engaged and letting your mind go? It's not the same. So, and if you don't schedule the 3 hours, guess what's going to happen? It ain't going to happen. But realize this is actually productive. This is a productive thing, not an unproductive thing. All my best ideas are when I'm sitting in a chair with my eyes closed, just letting my brain ramble. And I do that every single week. You got to do it. Also, rethink black and white thinking. Is anything absolutely right or absolutely wrong? No. Everything is what? In the gray area. So never go into thinking things are as absolutes. You have to go and think. When you start to think that things are right or wrong or it's going to work this way or that way, you gotta look at critical thinking. I'm reading a book right now written by one of the top poker players in history. He's talking about how do you live your life as a bet. And it has nothing to do with poker, but it has to do with how poker players think. And do poker players ever think in black and white? I'm going to win this hand. I should always play the hand this way. No, that's odds. That's right. They're playing the odds, calculated risk. And guess how open? He said, this is a great, they actually have, top poker players actually have their equivalent of what we do with the tape review. Guess what the top poker players do? They get together with, after tournaments, top poker players get together with other top poker players, and do they break the champagne, or do they review with each other how each other could have played better, how they played a hand wrong, how they could even a good hand was could have been played better. They discuss tactics. That's what the best players don't rest on their laurels. The best players go and critique themselves, even the winners. The other thing you got to do is you got to see the world through other people's eyes. See the world through other people's eyes. And we try to help you with that with 5Q all the time. Visualize your future with a vision board. You know, Jim Carrey actually wrote himself a check for $10 million before he made any money. Why did he do that? Athletes do this. CEOs, people who start companies do this. You got to see yourself successful before you're successful. If you don't see yourself successful before you're successful, you're never going to be successful. I read self-help books from the time I was in the Navy, or actually in high school, as a poor child, because I was poor. My family was poor. You know, the iron-on patches on tough skin jeans, Sears tough skin jeans. That's how I grew up. But I read self-help books every single birthday. That's what I got for my birthday. I got books. And they were always on self-help books. And I did that through the Navy. I did that when I was struggling and making $70 grand or $50 grand a year for 7 years. I've read self-help books. That's the only books I read was self-help, because you know what? You gotta surround yourself with thinking about being successful. So I'm in charge of how I feel today and choosing happiness. This is something I struggle with every single day. I have a big sign in my office saying, choose happiness. Do we all have that choice to choose happiness? Even, you know, you find people with, knock on wood, people with cancer. Are some people with cancer happy? Yes, they choose happiness. They choose what the good on that particular day. And if you choose happiness, how much more productive you're going to be than if you're a grump and you're ornery with everybody. And you know, guys, I'm singing to the choir because I am one of the worst people at this. I constantly have to remind myself, choose happiness. Now, how can you do that? Well, like I do, I put a big sign up in my office. Unfortunately, most days, even though it's a huge sign, it's a huge friggin' sign, guys. Even though it's a huge friggin' sign, guess what? Many days, even though because it's in my office every day, I don't even look at it. So you have to think of other ways to do it too. So one of the things Missy and Trisha will send me, if I'm having a bad day, they'll send me a little "Don't worry, be happy" in my email song, so that I can think, you know what? Just take a breath. Some people on their ringtones will have a happy song as their ringtone. Think of ways to remind you to be happy. And that's not just some sort of a new age type of thing. As we all know, well, hopefully you all know this, what have they found? If you smile, If you smile, what happens to your brain? Even though you feel like grumpy, you hate the world, but you smile, what does the physical act of smiling do to your brain? It starts to put those endorphins into your brain to make you happy. The body, it's weird. The brain will follow the body. The brain will follow the body. If you get up and walk around, you're going to feel better. If you smile, you're going to feel better. So choose to be happy. And again, guys, I know this is easier said than done. Believe me. Also, get a hobby. Have an adventure. Do something other than work that makes you happy. Could be fly tying. It could be camping or hiking. It could be basketball. Find something. Yeah, it could be that your hobby is bourbon tasting. Sure, that's fine. Find something that gets you engaged, that makes you happy, that makes you want to can't wait for the sun to come up the next day, and makes you happy. Because that's going to bleed through your family life, and that's going to bleed into your business in a good way. Control your email. How many times do I talk about this? Control your email. How often should you be looking at your email, guys? 2 to 3 times a day. Once when you get in, and when you get in, when should you look at your email when you get in? Let's see. I want everybody to answer this question. When should you look at your email when you get in? Nick's got it. See if anybody else gets it. Holy cow, you guys are so smart. David gets it, Dale gets it, Mike gets it. Yeah. After you do your 15-minute drill, then you look at your email. Then you get on with your day. Then if you would so choose, you can look at it before you go to lunch or after you get back from lunch, and then you turn it off. And then before you go home, you look at your email again. But you should only be investing at most about 15 minutes a day on email. Once in the morning, once at lunch, once when you go to before you go home from work. But should your email be on the rest of the day? No, it should not. That goes with what else? Just email? What else does that go with? Again, this is me, the pot calling the kettle black. Now, I don't do Facebook. I haven't looked or logged on to Facebook, I think, in 15 years. I don't do LinkedIn. I don't do so, but you know what I do look at? News. And guys, I look at news continually. That's my entertainment, to look at news. What good is news doing me during the day? Or is it a time waster? It's a time waster. It's a way for me to waste time. So I don't care what your time waster is, whether it's Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram or the news. Should you be doing that during the workday? There's so many. I mean, if nothing else, well, we'll get into some things that you can do with it, but read a book that's going to make you a better person. Read a self-help book, read a marketing book, read a whatever book. Reach out to your clients. Reach out to your warm list. Or, if nothing else, shut your eyes, sit in a chair, and let your mind wander and think about your business again, how to make it better. Meditate. That's another good thing, yes. And then every day you should reach out and touch someone. Every day reach out and touch someone. Touch base. So guys, how many notes, when I was making $1 million a year, how many notes did I write per month? How many handwritten notes did I write per month? See how many of you remembered. Ron's got it. Very good. David's got it. So 250 a week, 200 a month when I was making $1 million a year. Why? Why did I do that? Guys, how many handwritten notes have you gotten in the last year? Other than the ones I send you, how many other handwritten notes have you gotten in a year? Hell, even when you get Christmas cards, are they handwritten anymore, or do people type out letters and send you letters? So how much does that grab you when you get a handwritten note? A lot. So that's one way you can be reaching out to people. And the handwritten notes, I did it for client anniversary. So if they became my client in July, I sent them a client anniversary in July. I sent it for their birthday. I sent out Happy 4th of July cards. I sent out, hey, be safe Labor Day cards. I was constantly looking for reasons to send out cards. Pick up the phone and call people. And how much you should be doing this right now? A lot. So actually, this is my last slide for today, because guess what? I'd much rather be doing right now versus being on with me. Call all your clients. I don't care if they're all in FIAs, if they're 50-50, or you're a bozo and you have all your clients in stocks and bonds. What should you be doing right now? Get in touch with all your clients. Let them know that you feel their pain. Let them know that you're watching. Let them know that you care. I would call everybody over the next couple days. Make sense? Please, please, please reach out to your clients. Make them happy. That's the kind of advisor they want. They're not looking for the genius advisor. They know advisors. There's no genius advisor. They're looking for people who care. Calling them in this kind of environment shows that you care. Make sense? So I'll get off the call here and get you guys doing what you can do best. Okay. Have a great day. We'll talk to you all next Monday. Thanks, everybody.